Okay, so now we'll discuss electronegativity. As you can see here, I have written the values. So, covalent bonds, there are two types of covalent bonds. It's either a non-polar covalent or a polar covalent. Means, once it's a covalent bonds, electrons are shared together. If the electrons are equally shared, it is considered as a non-polar compound. But if there is an unequal sharing of electrons, it is now a polar. So, what is electronegativity? Electronegativity is the tendency of an atom to attract electrons towards itself. So, kung paano pumila yung electrons. So, in the periodic table, you would see fluorine has the highest electronegativity value, which is 4. So, it means, siya yung pinakamalakas mag-attract ng electron sa lahat. Yung naman pinakamaliit or pinakamahina ay yung nandun sa other end, which is francium, which has the weakest electronegativity. It is like in the periodic trends, diba? So here you would see the electronegativity values. So kapag ang electronegativity value ay 0 to 0.39, non-polar. Kapag 0.4 to 1.69, polar. 1.7 and above, ionic compounds. Very basic lang to, basic subtraction na principle. So, paano natin siya gagawin? So, let's have samples. So, let's have this one. First example natin ay yung O2. O2. Oxygen. This is known as a oxygen gas, which is an example of an element that is always diatomic in form. It means laging 2 yung subscript niya. So, tingnan natin kung is it polar, non-polar, or ionic. If you would see, kung gagawin ko yung configuration niya, yung Lewis dot structure niya, it would look like this one. So, oxygen and oxygen. So, oxygen is member of group 6 elements. So, practically, they have 6 dots. So, dalawang oxygen kasi meron. Maintindihan natin. Okay. So, kung titignan mo, we follow the octet rule. They need to share electrons, so at least they have 8 electrons para maging stable. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ganon din sa kabila. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So ayan. Ayan. Okay. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung electronegativity value. Saan ba nakikita yung electronegativity value? Doon sa periodic table, meron naman yan. Or, nandun sa PowerPoint, meron din yan. Yung lahat na ng elements sa periodic table na nakalagay na may electronegativity values. So, if you would look on the periodic table, the electronegativity value of oxygen is 3.5. So, ilang oxygen ba meron? So, dalawa. Let's check. So, we simply subtract them to get the value. So, the first oxygen has 3.5 and then the second oxygen has 3.5 as well. So, subtract them. So, 3.5 minus 3.5, it would be 0. So, ano siya? Polar, non-polar, o ionic? So, if you would look on the reference, ang value niya ay 0. So, it means it is a non-polar. Okay? So, that's the first example. How about this one? Uh, na lang natin ha. H2S. Tingnan natin. Ang given daw ay H2S. So, kahit may subscript yan, titingnan na natin yung electronegativity value niya. So, ano ba ang itsura ng H2S? So, the electronegativity value of H is 2.1. Ang H daw ay 2.1. Ang sulfur ay 3.5. Okay? So, simply subtract 3.5 minus 2.1. It would be 0.4. So, 0.4, nasan siya dyan? So, it would be a polar covalent. Okay? So, bakit nagkaganon? If you would see, this would show you the polarity. So, you have sulfur, which has 6 electrons. Let's try to fix this one. Six electrons, while hydrogen has 1. Kasi ito yung mga valence sila eh. Yan. So, ganyan yung itsura niya. So, saan papunta yung hydrogen? Since we're talking about polarity and electronegativity, so mas ma-attract si hydrogen palapit kay sulfur kasi mas mataas yung electronegativity value niya. Yan, dun siya papunta. Can you follow? Very basic. Kaya yung dipole moment niya, tinatawag nating partial dipole kasi dun papunta. Katulad kanina, no dipole ng dipole moment. Kasi balance pareho. Diba? Same yung nucleus. Okay. So, that is for electronegativity. So, try naman tayo ng isa pa. CSCl. So, cesium chloride. Let's try to see. Ano ba ang electronegativity value ng chlorine? Chlorine's electronegativity value is 3.0, while cesium has a electronegativity 0.7. So, simply subtract. So, that would be 2.3. So, check the values or reference values. So, it's greater than 1.7. Now, you could call it as an ionic compound. And that is your electronegativity values.